Awaken Beauties, finally, it's here. The truth to empower women to true inner beauty through a healthy mind and inner biology. I am your hostess, Cassandra Keogh, a 20-year salon owner, organic beauty product formulator, positive mind management, and clinical hypnotherapist. And I am here to help you stay sane, get sleep, and bring your sexy back. Sponsored by evoquebeauty.com. evoquebeauty.com. Now, let's get to it. All right, welcome to the Awaken Beauty podcast. I am Cassandra, your organic beauty, positive mind management, and clinical hypnotherapist. And I'm so excited we're bringing back Tom Paladino with Scalar Energy on the Awaken Beauty podcast. Now, you probably and hopefully listened to our first episode, which is super brief, really succinct, and you can catch what scalar energy is and is not. So I've asked Tom to come back to join us and connect the dots and go a little bit deeper with what scalar energy is. And he has helped heal thousands of people around the world. And you can go to his website to listen and read those testimonials and how he can help you experience better health. And specifically, we're going to tap into scalar energy and a little bit more about how it can help women and our hormones. So, Tom, welcome back to the podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you today?
Yeah, I am well. Good afternoon. Hi, Cassandra.
Hello.
Thank you.
All righty. So we jumped into scalar energy on our first podcast, but if somebody didn't listen to that first podcast, why don't you go ahead and just tell us exactly what scalar energy is, because it's so powerful.
It is so powerful. It's a different type of energy. It's not electricity. And we're all familiar with it. It's from the sun and the stars. Scalar light, or what some people call 0-point energy or chi. It originates from the sun, the stars. So I'm working with a different energy spectrum, and I've created instruments that can control that energy. Now, you have some instruments that control electricity, that's fine. My instruments control scalar, or what again we call sunlight or chi energy. And the health benefits to be derived from this chi energy are just incredible. And we'll explore that in the next half hour, what we can do.
Absolutely. So, the sun and the stars, there's all kinds of energy out there. And, when we talk about chi and we talk about the very essence of energy, and if I think about what gives energy to the sun and stars, eternal life itself, really, I think of the logos and God's creation, and
Yes.
Then there was light. And so it's like that very first abundance that in which gives the yin and the yang of the sun and the moon and the feminine and the masculine and all of that equal balance. And that's what essentially, we're always called back to be, is always to be in balance. So when I think about energy, you can go as woo-woo as you want, but it is fundamentally a part of our innate build in our body and how we live and experience this world. And, you and I both know, and you made a comment that this is the next generation of, I'm so excited for the world to now, everybody is already awakening, but it's now kind of like when I started an organic salon 15 years ago, it's normal now. Before it was cool. Like you were doing this before energy was cool. Yes. So I think we both agree it is now here and it is here to stay. And it's now time to educate people on exactly what it does. So I did your 15-day, thank you so much for being gracious, trial. And, maybe we can start there. So your first kind of balancing program with scalar energy is to go through the pathogenic cleanse, then the nutrient program, and the chakra balance. So can you maybe just start with scalar energy and just its power in the pathogenic piece? Because that's really the kind of the essence, correct?
It is, and it's unique. So again, we're working with scalar light instruments. These are 0 point energy instruments, or what some people might call chi or pyramid energy. It's not electricity. And
Right.
what I've found with these instruments, we can easily break apart a microorganism, a virus, a bacterium, a fungi. It's simple, it's easy. It's not with drugs, it's with light, with energy. It's painless, it's simple. I'll go on record that the world will change. The medical
Mhm.
environment will change with the advent of this approach to microbial disease. So as Cassandra mentioned, the, the backbone of this therapy is our ability to eradicate hundreds of thousands of different species of viruses, bacteria, parasites from the body. We call it the pathogenic cleanse.
Mhm.
And imagine this, it's so simple when you're working with Scalar, all we need is your photograph. We work with people, we treat people remotely by way of their photograph. So consider that anybody in the world can submit a photograph to us, regardless of where you live, and we'll do all the work. We do everything for you. The
Mhm.
laboratory here in Florida will provide you this healing session. We're going to eradicate the viruses, the fungi, the mold, the protozoan, the parasites in your body. You will feel better. And in so doing, we know that we're going to be preventing disease. If we can get rid of the microbes in your body, your health is going to improve. And for some people, quite significantly in a short period of time. Again, all done by way of a photograph remotely, and you simply go on with your lifestyle. You do not have to change your lifestyle. So this is this new paradigm that we're looking at, and how Cassandra and I consider that the next decade, the 20s, will be devoted to this type of integrative medicine.
Yeah, yeah. And when I think about pathogens, now we finally have science validating and the medical community validating, but the microbiome. So if we think about the microbiome, good, healthy biome is important, but kind of to what's so incredible what you're doing is that pathogens left in the wild, wild west, not left under, not being controlled, really do create stressors in the body and havoc in the body. So I think it's just such a beautiful thing that you can eradicate these pieces. And we talked about the first episode that you don't have this, like you said, we can work on you all day long. You don't have a die-off experience where you
Right.
don't have the reaction that you originally would having to go on a cleanse or a smoothie detox or whatever the case is. This is
Yes,
such a gentle way of
it
approaching
is.
this.
It is. That's so appropriate. It is a gentle way. Why is this gentle? We're not using chemicals.
Mm-hmm.
What's a detox? It's a chemical reaction. What are we using? Light, pure light from the sun, this divine light. That's why there's no reaction. There's no chemicals involved. So
Mm-hmm.
when we break apart, if you will, a microbe, a virus, or a bacterium, that microorganism simply breaks apart into smaller proteins or smaller elements. And in so doing, it's a benign process. I've treated infants.
Mm-hmm.
I've treated very young children without incident. So again, imagine what I'm saying. We can work with you remotely anywhere in the world by way of your photograph. We can guarantee the destruction, the disassembling of microbes in your body. Do it all in a painless fashion. You don't have to change your lifestyle. And it's a guaranteed process because this logos, as you put it, this life force energy can control a germ. If my fist represents a microbe, and with this energy, we can break apart that germ, that microbe, it ceases to exist. So the world will eventually catch up to this type of integrative medicine. I thank you, Cassandra, for giving me
Yeah,
this platform.
absolutely.
It's just a matter of time before the world embraces the easy way to address pathogenic disease.
Yeah, and I think so I can kind of give a visual. I think it's always nice to have a visual of kind of what we're talking about. But if you put in the concept of a pharmaceutical, okay, so you have a drug, that essentially is a frequency going inside the body. So everything works at a frequency, but you do have the chemical compound as far as the toxicity of it, the harm, the reaction of it. Then let's move into the realm of homeopathic medicine. So I just kind of want to go into what you're saying, that we're moving into this new ground. We've already been moving into it. So let's take homeopathy, for instance. These are energies that are literally diluted down, very, very diluted down into an impressionable energy. And when we're 80% water, these are to the highest extreme of unhealthy pharmaceuticals. Okay, we know who runs that world. And then we go into, okay, people are wanting to do better with naturopathic and homeopathy. That's a diluted form. Now we're moving into the very, very essence of what everybody's trying to do, but it is the very essence of the logo. So working with your body and eradicating it with no side effects.
Yes, exactly. With no side effects. That's very brilliant of you, if I may say so.
Yeah.
I've always respected homeopathy. By the way, I believe that the animating force behind homeopathy is scalar, is that life force energy. You know, how is it that you can, with each dilution, potentiate a reagent? Well, the only way you could do that is by way of light, certainly not by way of its chemical composition. So that does give credence to homeopathy, and there is indeed a science behind that. So we're doing away with all the reagents and all the chemicals. And what's really crucial is this. If you have a molecular bond, imagine my two fingers represent holding together the force field that holds together a molecule. And that molecule is a bacterium or a parasite. And then we could tell that molecular bond to release, to negate. What happens? The microbe falls apart. It could not be simpler. It's a fundamental way of eradicating microorganisms from the body. Now, what does that mean? Well, you have microorganisms that cause tuberculosis. We can eradicate that bacterium. You have microorganisms that cause herpes or the shingles virus. We can eradicate, we can break apart those viruses. This is so crucial to understanding how scalar light works and how in practice now, how we can improve human health. And again, it's a process that only requires you to send in a photograph.
Right.
We're working with people in India who have HIV, and we're getting great results. We're destroying the HIV virus as far away as India. So
I think that could be some of your most profound work on this HIV. I mean, talk about something so untapped, a community of people so forgotten, in a place in the world so not tended to. And
you're right. They're marginalized. Let's just face it. They're abandoned. They're marginalized. We're working with people around the world, Africa, India, throughout Indonesia, and many of these people, there's not a medical clinic within 50 miles.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's so incredible. I didn't even really think about the nuances, the small, desolate areas of the world that you can offer healing to at no cost, virtually. I mean, of course, we want them to sign up for your program, but like you said, you submit your photo, you sign up. He has subscription-based programs. Now, let's talk a little bit about how minute and how focused we can get. So, what I had went through was the pathogenic cleanse. And then you've got the chakra and then the nutrients. So I think it's a really beautiful way for people to start with the 15-day and kind of just get that started so that you can have your baseline. You have a metabolic, you have a neurotransmitter. And what we wanted to talk a little bit about today was really specifically around hormones. So if I understand, even the direct effect, let's just talk about pathogens and hormones. In our gut microbiome, we literally make estrogen out of our gut. And so if we have over powerful pathogens in the body, we can't correctly make hormones. So can you talk a little bit more about how Scalar Energy, when the woman submits her photo, and first let me tell you this, ladies, if you have any fear around putting your photo up into the program or into the system, Tom takes your photo off and down once you're done with the program. He doesn't have just a bunch of stock photos in his program. That is, can you maybe speak into kind of the process and hormones a little bit?
Sure, sure. Let's speak about female hormones in specific. So we're working with instruments that, again, control molecular forms. And when women send me photographs, I have the ability with one of my instruments to create inside the body female hormones, pregnenolone, estrogen, progesterone. And in so doing, many women feel the benefits. Many women say they feel a greater sense of vitality, strength. Some women say they no longer have night sweats
Yep.
or hot
Hot
flashes at
flashes.
night. There you go.
Thank God.
And some women say that they're not so irritable, that their hormonal deficiency has caused, if you will, an imbalance, a disequilibrium, and that the fact that we can now assemble female hormones in the body that improves, that abets their mental and psychological state. So we do this all by way of these instruments. And again, scalar light instruments control matter. We can break apart what's a toxin or a microbe, or we can create female hormones in the body. Now, how does that really translate? Well, by way of your photograph, when you send us a photograph, we can make a connection with you anywhere in the world. And once I have your photograph, then I can send you instructions, scalar instructions for these instruments to start creating in your body the molecular form, again, of female hormones. DHEA, we're looking at progesterone, pregnenolone, etc. And again, the result, the sequence of this is that women feel better. And after your session, after the 30 days, I simply destroy the photograph. It's that simple. We have women from around the world. There's a group of women that I work with religiously in Alaska.
Interesting.
And especially in the wintertime when it's a long, cold, dark winter up there, these women submit their photograph to me. And they go on record that they feel much better and that the sessions help them elevate their mood. And during that long, cold Alaskan winter, that they feel that this is what they need, the emotional support and obviously the physical support to have female hormones assembled in their body. When I'm working with women as such, it's an ongoing process. We're working with women 24 hours a day. So we're there to support their hormonal needs on a around the clock basis. It works.
Yeah.
I am 59 years of age. I treat myself for male hormones and it works. It gives me greater muscular strength, greater vitality. And indeed, if you're over the age of, say, 35, then you're probably looking at some type of hormonal deficiency. That's just
Absolutely.
a fact of life.
Yep. Yeah. And I'm much younger than that. I mean, functional medicine background, and you've got women. And I think the biggest thing right now that we're seeing is estrogen dominance for a number of reasons. Number one, we've got a free floating estrogen. Number two, we have xenoestrogens from our beauty products, food, toxins, all of that. Now, can you say a little bit more? So I really love, and for those that can't see on the podcast, Tom is bringing his fingers together and then he's pulling them slowly apart. So with the pathogens, we're pulling them apart and we're making them unstable and able to create formation in the body. But with hormones, are you saying that you're actually making hormones in the cellular structure of the body?
That's correct. That's correct. If you can consider this energy as intelligence, and it simply instructs the existing elements and proteins in your body to form a molecular arrangement, a molecular structure, let's say pregnenolone.
Yeah.
And it's so doing, by way of these scalar light instructions, I can create pregnenolone inside the human body. It's quite fascinating. And again, all of this is done in a non-invasive fashion by way of light. There is no chemical that you have to drink. You don't have to change your lifestyle. You could go outside and go for a walk in the park. And that's the beauty of this. This is not going to consume your time. Again, there's no toxic shock. We're working with light. We're not working with chemicals, and it's effective.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I think of so many women, Tom, that when they're put on hormones, even, bioidentical hormones, the push and pull system of having to get your dosage just right is really, really frustrating. And I know that you wouldn't say women that are already on, and we discussed this last time too. For instance, I'm on bioidenticals, but my hope would be to consistently do the scalar energy so that I can feed my energetic needs hormonally with the energy platform versus bioidenticals.
Yes.
And so when we're talking about the hormones, ladies, we know that, so we have the endocannabinoid system, which is the master regulator of everything, but the endocrine system runs also everything in the body. So Tom's talking about insulin, okay, insulin resistance, meaning weight loss and metabolic issues, DHEA, oxytocin, which is your feel-good, happy, bliss molecule, melatonin, which he said, helping these women in Alaska, that is a hormone. It is not just a supplement you take if you can't sleep. It's a vital hormone in our mental health and hormonal health. So you're able to instruct the body to make more hormones. So correct me if I'm wrong, you're more so making more hormones and allowing the body to work with them, but it's not balancing the hormones. Its main instruction is to create more healthy hormones.
That's great. It's to create, and we actually create hormones out of the existing elements and other molecular forms in your body. So imagine everybody has, say, carbon, oxygen, nitrogen in their body, including proteins. So we take those as the building block and we rearrange those existing proteins, those amino acids in your body, into female hormones.
Right.
So this way you don't have to inject anything. There's no potion, there's no patch.
Yep.
We do all of this by way of light instructions. I know that's quite profound, but that's the new science that's coming into vogue here. And that's what I call this creative strength of scalar energy, the ability to create inside the body chemicals, in this case, female hormone.
I love that you said bringing it in vogue. Let's get the PR batches going into literally in vogue, featuring Tom and Paladino.
Cassandra, you see the gigantic picture here.
I do.
There's a new frontier. Progress is.
You can't deny it.
No, you cannot. Progress continues, and we see that this type of technology is progress for the human race, and how eventually the world will embrace this type of technology. For what? To improve our lifestyle. That's what technology is for. It's our servant, okay? And we want to see that this technology serves us for the betterment of mankind, and we will.
Absolutely. So another question for you, Tom. Let's say that someone gets their hormones tested. So I just got done using the Dutch hormone testing, and my numbers have improved, but there's still stagnancy and too high. And so I can see the disharmony in a validated study through hormone analysis. Now, when I go and I measure my frequencies and my energy, I'm pretty much aligned. And I probably would attribute it, and I just measured it a day ago. I could probably attribute it to being on your scalar program now, both through the baseline and the hormones for over 15 days. How quickly does it work? And what is the discrepancy if somebody's still coming up as a deficiency on a lab test, but their energy and frequencies are showing that they're much more balanced energetically? What would you say about that?
That's a good point. That's, that might be a contradiction, but we'll have to address it as time goes on. So I'll say this. Obviously, testing is so important, but realize that what I'm doing is groundbreaking. It's different. And I don't know if we have the sufficient blood panels to measure what I'm doing to the human body. Again, I'm working with light, and with this light, I can create inside the body the presence of hormones. Now, does the existing testing, this Dutch method, does that really do justice to what I'm doing? That begs the question. I don't know, and only time will tell.
Right.
So the main benchmark that I have right now is how women feel. And the greater majority of women who tried the female hormone program, they say they feel great. And to me, that's the most important.
I think it is the most important. Absolutely.
I do want scientific data, and I want to say that I hope that the data that's used to collect and to review my work, working vis-a-vis with what I'm doing by way of Scalar, I hope that's really a good indication of how efficacious these hormonal programs are. I would say that there should be at least an indication as to how we're benefiting women. But I can't put my finger on it right now because it's new.
Yep.
Everything I'm doing is groundbreaking. So I can't say that the existing status quo type of treatments or type of testing is really going to play in on a level playing field to give us the accurate diagnosis and then the accurate data as to how effective my sessions, my female hormone sessions are. So the overarching consideration still remains women feel better, and they do. And that is what's most important to me. I do welcome scientific testing, especially from disinterested parties. I welcome that by all means.
Yeah, I think to validate what you're saying, an OBG probably wouldn't say this. They don't get a lot of education on the endocrine system or nutrition or anything like that. But if you go to a functional med, a good functional medicine women doc will say, here is what your tests say, but how do you feel? And they usually will trust what the woman is feeling and her sleep patterns and her stress and her anxiety or lack of anxiety, of improvement over a blood test, because we can get many false positives, whether that's celiac, hormones, or what have you,
Right.
for many different reasons, from saliva testing to blood testing. So I think this is a no-brainer because there is no fallback. There's no detriment and there's no reaction to the body. So what you offer in your program, again, is a photo and they get work done and it's hands off. And I never want to say anything's a pill, but this is a really powerful beam that can really, really do good work. So
Yes,
now,
right.
as far as the hormones, can you just kind of give us a little bit of an introduction of the other programs that you have with your Scalar Energy so that they can understand kind of really how vast these programs are?
Yeah, thank you. And they are, and I really appreciate your lead-in. Again, remember, scalar, this type of energy creates molecular forms.
Mm-hmm.
So with this type of energy, this molecular binding energy, we can create endorphins and neurotransmitters.
Mm-hmm.
I have a session known as endorphins and neurotransmitters. Well, those are happy chemicals, like
Right.
Cassandra mentioned, oxytocin and
Serotonin.
serotonin, dopamine, et cetera, acetylcholine. So when people go under this program, endorphins and neurotransmitters, they are happy
Mm-hmm.
or happier.
Happier.
And this elevates their mood. I'm on that program 24 hours a day, and it makes me happy. And
Yep.
a lot of people say they almost get to the point that they can giggle. Now, is there merit to that? Yes, because 24 hours a day, these instruments are creating in your body from head to toe endorphins and neurotransmitters that we need that obviously regulate many of our functions on our body. But one of the telltale signs is people see an elation of their character. They see an elation of their physical state of being, of their psychological state of being.
Mm-hmm.
So the endorphins and neurotransmitters give people a surge of energy, but most decidedly, people are happier. It improves their mood. It elevates their mood. So that's one session. There's another session known as minerals and precious stone, in which I can create in the body minerals, base minerals, and precious stones that many people think are responsible for spiritual healing or emotional healing. Why is that important? Well, I've tried to duplicate minerals that are found in drinking water.
Mm.
And as we know, our municipal drinking water is compromised. So
Horrible.
the mineral part of this session is reintroducing into our body the minerals that we need for proper physical function. And then to augment that, we have the ability to create inside our body the energetic pattern of precious stones, emerald, sapphire, diamond, etc. And many of those precious stones are responsible for our emotional well-being. Some people say our auric or our
Mm-hmm.
spiritual well-being. And we have many people who like that combination. The minerals, the base minerals for our physical constitution, And then the precious stones for our spiritual, our emotional well-being. That's known as the mineral and precious stone therapy. And again, all of that is administered by way of a light
Right.
therapy. You do not have to visit the laboratory. Everything we do is by way of a photograph for a person. There's another session known as natural foods,
Mm-hmm.
in which we can take the plant chemicals, the natural plant chemicals found in vegetables, herbs, grains, and impart that energy. And so doing, we can recreate, we can assemble inside the human body thousands of phytochemicals that you only find in nature. Many of those phytochemicals have not been yet identified.
Right.
So imagine if we take celery and we're able to recreate the phytochemicals of celery inside the human body by way of this program, Natural Foods, then you're getting all of the phytochemicals found in celery, not just a handful of micronutrients that you might find by way of a pill, a multivitamin pill, or by way of a potion or some type of protein drink. So we're going back to nature,
Yeah.
which is pure light energy, okay? Scalar light energy from the sun and the stars. And with
Yep.
this energy, we can create the necessary nutrients that our body needs. I feel great. I've been on this program for years and I don't have any health complications whatsoever. So, and many of our clients they've been on it for years with us and they vouch for us. So this is a new frontier in
Yep.
medicine. It's a new way to improve human health, spiritual, mental, physical health. And we're seeing just great reviews from people around the world. It's so telling, it's so obvious, and this
Mm-hmm.
is just going to catch on in the next decade.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here thinking as well as, so I'm about to launch a course called Unlocking the Sacred Garden of Your Mind. And really, this is being able to go in and start working with our thought frequencies and how our thoughts, which I call the spirit mind, we don't talk enough about the spirit intelligence, kind of what we're talking about here, is that if you threw your brain on the floor, it doesn't think for itself. It is a spirit intelligence that comes in and we can accept it or we can bounce it out and we can do what we want with that. So if we were to take your program, let's just talk the endorphins and the dopamine and serotonin, it's not a one or all. This is a complementary alternative. So as I launch this course, it'd be even great to get people on your program or have them sign up to your program as they move through these emotional barriers that they've had to help ease up that process as people are doing emotional work by having these pieces that you're talking about energetically baseline there and supporting them. It's just a really beautiful way to just kind of creating a support system as people are doing emotional work and things of that nature too. It's a really nice adjunct. So
Thank you.
Yeah, that's great. So by far, I think many, many women will be interested in this beautiful hormone program that you have. And so we are going to give them an offer. And I am so thankful to you for being so gracious, not only for that first program, and you can only do that by going to the link in the previous episode. And we are going to share a special link and on this episode and these show notes to provide you the hormone offer. So Tom, can you tell them a little bit about the process? You go to the website, submit the photo, and tell them what they're going to get on that. Is that 15 days or 30 days? What are you offering?
Yeah, we're offering it, and thank you for being so gracious.
Oh, thank
Likewise,
you.
to extend this to all of your friends and your clients. We're Cassandra and I are going to offer everybody, every woman, 30 days free of charge, 30 days of female hormones.
Mm-hmm.
And all you have to do now is submit a photograph of your person, some part of your body. It doesn't have to be a full body shot. Some women just prefer to send in a bust shot of their head.
Right.
You could, for privacy reasons, if you only want to send a photograph of your hand, that's fine. So again, when we work with people around the world, we work with them exclusively by way of a photograph, some photograph of their skin, their anatomy.
Mm-hmm.
And for 30 days in a row, these instruments will treat you, will work with you 24 hours a day, and we will be assembling female hormones around the clock and you will no longer have that hormonal deficiency that you did prior to these sessions. Now, again, the upshot is many women feel better. They see an elevation of their spirit, of their mood. Some women say that they no longer have hot flashes at night. Many women say they're no longer so irritable. And many say that they have a greater sense of urgency, a greater sense of strength and vitality. If you have a deficiency of female hormones, many women feel sluggish, lethargic. So my adage is very simple. Try it.
Yep.
Try it. It's so simple. You don't have to change your lifestyle. Just send us a photograph of your skin. We do the rest. We'll make believers out of you. You will see how simple and easy this is and how effective. Why is this effective? We're working with light. Light is fundamental. Light is a first principle, and nothing can impede light.
Right.
So when you're working with these instruments, these are light instruments that perform a function. And the function I instruct these instruments to perform is to create inside the human body female hormones. And indeed, that's what happens. Nothing can impede this light. So I guarantee you, you will see an increase in your level of female hormones. And for most women, that's going to be quite advantageous to their health.
That's incredible. I really love it. And I really want to invite women in on this free 30-day offer. It's very gracious of Tom to do. And, you know, you can go onto his website and look at his other programs if you want to add something on. But I also want to really encourage you that we all know as women, you know, I talk about hair loss, you know, so let's just go back to Tom's comment about pathogens and things of that nature. So we can have an overgrowth, and there's a lot of hormone balancing and pathogens, could even be metal toxicity, that stress out the system, that you have hair thinning. So just think about the relation to what he's offering and how it frees up the body in all these different levels to increase hair health, skin health, anti-aging at its best. Lack of hormones is aging, fundamentally. So if you can do something that is non-invasive, has no side effects, and will increase your hormone efficacy, it's just a no-brainer. But here's what I want to say. After you're done with that 30-day, I would encourage you to go and purchase at least an additional 2 months, because we at least need, and going back to the hair loss, you at least need 6 weeks to 9 weeks to see a full body turnover for that body to then reset and actually get into the pro-growth mode. Same with hormones. This isn't like, oh yeah, great, you know, so it's something to really think about long-term. And so this 30 days to just get you feeling better, and then really, really start to increase the efficacy of your hormones and your health 30, 60 days after that. That's what I would.
Well spoken, well spoken. I will say this, many people, men and women, have said that after 2 or 3 months on our program, they see that their complexion is clearer. Why? Because we're getting rid of the bacteria, the parasites, and many of those bacteria and parasites show up on your skin.
Right.
Okay, the fact that we can create vitamins, minerals, antioxidants inside the body. Your skin is much more supple, much more youthful looking. Your hair is thicker. Your nails are stronger. How can we make this claim? Because Scalar will deliver the nutrients to you by way of light. Mm-hmm. So your fingernails finally have the nutrition that they need to grow and repair. Your hair finally has the nutrition it needs to grow and repair. Your skin, a wonderful organ, right? It needs nutrition. And on our program, we're working with you, treating you 24 hours a day. So there's not a nutritional deficiency. We work with you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We're constantly giving you nutrition, even when you're sleeping. That's the key.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. It's consistent. Absolutely consistent, versus forgetting to take your pills and getting frustrated and then getting off the rocker again, only to find yourself frustrated, full of shame and frustration that you're right back to where you were. So wonderful. Well, Tom, this was incredible, insightful information. I just so believe in you. I so believe in what you're doing. I so believe in the logos, and that you have captured the very energy of eternal life and are offering it to thousands of people around the world.
Yes.
So
And And I thank you for being so forward-thinking with me.
Mm-hmm.
This is a benchmark moment in science as far as I'm concerned. Scalar light is a new technology that will change the world. I've always said that this new technology will at least be as popular as that of the computer industry. So what am I saying? This new technology, scalar light, will take the world by storm, so to speak, as did the computer. And it will be just as momentous as was the computer or the iPhone, etc. So if this is the first time you've heard of this technology, it will not be the last.
Yep.
Scalar light technology is a new technology. It's going to improve our lifestyle. That's the whole point here.
Right.
Technology is our servant, and it helps, it will abet our lifestyle. And Cassandra sees the big picture. So
absolutely,
kudos to you for being so forward thinking.
Absolutely. And really it's forward thinking. If we really go back to the pharmaceutical world has failed us. Okay. At best, organic farmers are doing everything they can, but our soil is 80% less nutrient dense. We're literally going back and tapping into the very light essence of what is life. And this frequency that you're offering will never fail us. And so it really is going back to basics and going back to the beginning of time and leveraging that very thing. So thank you again, Tom. I really want to encourage every woman to go ahead and go to the Awaken Beauty podcast show notes on this episode and reach out to Tom or reach out to I. There will be the link. Send your photo in. It's as simple as that. And Tom, I always leave the podcast, and I did it to you last time. I'm going to ask you again, what is something that you have awakened to lately? Personally.
I've awakened to the fact personally that I have a responsibility to my fellow man, and I believe my calling in life is to help people improve their lifestyle by way of this technology. And that gets me up in the morning, and those are the goals that I have throughout the day. So I want to see the human condition improve. I want to see the welfare of people around the world improve, and I envision a global healing ministry with what I'm doing. So if you have that vision with me, join us. Let's change the world for the better.
Yep, absolutely. Talk about put your money where, we really need to in this world. And so thank you, Tom. And thank you for everybody. And thank you for joining the Awaken Beauty podcast. As always, until next time, stay sane, get sleep, and bring your sexy back. And now you'll be able to do that with Tom's hormone treatment therapy. All right, Tom, thank you again. And we'll have you on again soon.
Many thanks.
Well, hello, Awaken Beauty. Thank you so much for joining the show today. Were you inspired? Please leave a comment or your own personal aha moment so others can capture exactly what you did. Also, please like and subscribe wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And if you're interested in high quality natural products for your hair, skin, and wellness, including organic CBD, please visit evoquebeauty.com. Again, that is evoquebeauty.com, evoquebeauty.com. And until next time, darling, stay sane, get sleep, and bring your sexy back.